COVID-19 is beginning to disrupt lives around the world. From flight cancellations and travel restrictions,
heightened concern all across the world,
including become an international health crisis.
Stock markets have been pounded.
Billions of people shuttered their doors to avoid COVID-19. Another virus was growing.
We've seen an explosion of reports of child sexual exploitation.
Trafficking cases.
Exploitation. It's increased during the pandemic.
Traffickers have moved online.
Children and predators use the internet more. Access to resources is also to blame.
518 arrested in a human trafficking operation.
Recovery of 39 children.
Cambodia is facing a new wave of human trafficking.
100,000 Cambodians have returned to Cambodia because
a number of Cambodians face destitution.
What will happen in the developing world, where tens of millions of people already face a struggle just to survive?
So our worst fears ended up coming to fruition. Borders had shut down, not only here in the United States, but also in Cambodia, in Myanmar, in the Middle East. These are places that we had planned to travel throughout 2020 to be able to go and support the on-the-ground work that's being done. This is something that we had talked about over the years, is what would happen if we cannot get back into country. Fear spread across the country and across the globe. We saw that people were without work, and this happened immediately upon the thousands.
People have lost their job. When they have no job, there's no income. When there's no income, people are even more vulnerable. People were hoarding food. People didn't like each other. The government asked everybody to shut down everything. Sewing center was shut down. Schools in Phnom Penh, school in Poi Pai, churches, even the soccer program.
Because our schools and our churches had to shut down, the families that we serve and the children that we serve had to scatter across the country. They all went back to their original provinces. We had no idea where many of them went. The risk that this presents is that the children are no longer in our care. They're not showing up on a daily basis, and normally the teachers are ensuring that they've had a meal and they're receiving the education, they're in safe home environments, and they also support the families. During this period of time when they were not in our care, they were more at risk for being trafficked than ever before.
So as you can imagine, in a global pandemic, and a crisis of this magnitude, it's been tough here in the United States, but you can imagine how much more challenging it is in Cambodia and Myanmar. So the need is greater than ever, and now more than ever, our leadership team in country is stepping up to meet that need. A long-term goal of Freedom's Promise is to train up and educate our partners and then empower them to be able to run their ministries without intervention by the United States counterparts, without us having to come over on trips, without us having to provide any additional training for them. And we're starting to see that. I actually believe COVID-19 has accelerated that, and it's an incredible outcome that God has brought about because of this pandemic.
Because of the risks that COVID-19 presented, we had to immediately shift as a ministry.
We have produced around 10,000 masks. Some of it we have donated to villages in need.
Because our schools and our churches had to close, our partners and our staff over there had to go out into the community. They spent time searching for the children and their families to check on them and to ensure that they had everything that they would need. And come to find out, many of them had shortage of food. They started providing them rice and teaching them how to have access to clean water. We also have seen the most incredible move of God. Our partners have gone out to evangelize in the communities while distributing supplies, just like Jesus did. He met people with whatever their need was physically, and then he shared his gospel with them.
People on the ground are rising up. This is what Freedom Promise want to see, like people are leading from the ground up. And the Lord somehow is bringing revival through COVID-19.
As hard as this season has been, it has had so much incredible impact on us as a ministry. We've been able to watch our partners step up and be empowered to lead. It's as if the church has left the building.
Of course, we miss our American friends, but the Lord used this time to raise up people to empower us, and His presence is so strong.
This season and this time that we're in has been so hard for all of us, and yet we have seen the Lord working in Cambodia and in Myanmar throughout all of it. Matthew 9:37 through 38 says, Then he said to his disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore, pray earnestly to the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest." We're actually getting to watch this right now. The laborers are tending to their field, and we're seeing the fruit of their efforts and their work in the harvest that is so ripe right now in Cambodia and in Myanmar.
If someone asked me, how do you describe Jesus? I'd say Jesus is love in action. And when I think about Freedom's Promise, and I think about the work we do in our Thrive model, our model is Jesus' love in action. And that is exactly what has been exhibited throughout this COVID-19 pandemic. And I can't wait to see, as our staff has stood up and learned to lead, how they're going to take that model and continue to bless their country and their region.